Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about Form 3903 Moving Expenses. Form 3903 is a tax form created by Internal Revenue Service and used by taxpayers to deduct moving expenses related to a new job. For tax years beginning after 2017, you can no longer deduct moving expenses unless you are a member of the armed forces on active duty and due to a military order you move because of a permanent change of station. For tax year belonging after 2017, Form 3903 can only be used by the members of the military. Those with multiple job-related moves must fill out multiple forms. A taxpayer's new employment location must be at least 50 miles further than the distance between their home and their old employer. Who can file Form 3903? Moving expenses. For the tax year prior to 2018, Form 3903 was used for each qualified move a taxpayer made in a tax year, which meant those with multiple job-related moves were required to fill out multiple forms. The IRS allowed taxpayers to use this form to deduct other reasonable moving expenses such as the cost of hiring professional movers or expenses related to traveling to their new home. Qualifying expenses include the cost of boxes, tape, moving blankets, bubble wrap, and other packing necessities, rental fees for moving trucks and storage units, travel costs including plane fare, gas or military mileage, and hotel costs, the costs of moving other military members in a separate vehicle. Even though tax year prior to 2018, you were only able to file Form 3903 if you meet certain requirements. First, your new job had to be at least 50 miles further than the distance between your previous home and your old job. So if your previous job was 14 miles away from your former home, your new job had to be 64 miles away from your previous home. Members of the United States military, however, can claim their moving expenses regardless of the distance or employment requirements if they are making a permanent change in their military status, such as retirement or termination of service. Sorry. Another requirement for non-military taxpayers filing for tax year prior to 2018, you had to move to around the same time as you start your new job. The time test qualification requires filers to work at that new location at least 39 weeks out of the 12 months following the move. If you don't take up 39 weeks at the new job before filing of deadline, you will still be able to file Form 3903. If you expected to pass the time test in your first year of the employment, self-employed individuals were also able to file Form 3903, but their time test is more stringent. They were required to work at the new job for 39 weeks in the first year after the move and 78 weeks by the end of the second year. A qualifying time and distance test must be completed to determine if the cost of a move can be deducted. How to file Form 3903 moving expenses? For tax year prior to 2018, you were required to complete a qualifying time and distance test to determine if you are able to deduct the cost of a move. Presently, Form 3903 is only available to active members of the US military. There are no qualifying distance and time requirements for members of the armed forces who utilize the deduction. To determine if a taxpayer's new expenses qualify for the deduction, please consult with the experienced tax preparer and process the form. So guys, this is 3903 moving expenses form. This is a single page form and you can see there are 5 lines total. Transportation and storage of household goods and personal effects. Travel including lodging from your old home to your new home. Do not include the cost of meals. You have to add line 1 and 2. Coming to line 4, enter the total amount of government paid you for the expenses listed on line 1 and 2 that is not included on box 1 of form W2. So this is how it works, form 3903. Now I will show you my software break. Guys, this is our software break. See, you can have a look of the form 3903 moving expenses. Read before proceeding. Beginning in 2018, taxpayer can deduct moving expenses on the federal return only if he or she is a member of the armed forces on active duty. This is a move due to a permanent change of station. If the taxpayer is not a member of the armed forces, complete this screen only if it is needed on a state return. So guys, be very careful. If you are a member of US military force, then you have to fill out the form for federal, otherwise you can use it for state return purpose only. So you can see taxpayer or spouse is selected if the armed force active duty and move. This move is due to military order of the permanent station change. Miles from okay guys, I think okay, let's try now. Yes, you can see the form is showing in the return 3903. You need to tick here as well, and also you can see the number of miles from your old home to your new workplace, number of miles from your old home to your old workplace. So subtracting this comes to 20 miles. So I believe you have understood how to use form 3903. I have shown you in the software break. So basically form 3903 is for moving expenses, and it is created by IRS and used by the taxpayer to deduct moving expenses related to a new job. For the tax year beginning to after 2017, you can no longer deduct moving expenses unless you are a member of the armed forces on active duty or due to a military order. You move because of the permanent change of station. Those with multiple job-related moves must fill out multiple forms. A taxpayer's new employment location must be at least 50 miles further than the distance between your home and your old employer. For the tax year 2018, Form 3903 was used for each qualifying move a taxpayer made in the tax year, which meant those with the multiple job-related moves were related to fill out multiple forms. The IRS allowed taxpayers to use these forms to deduct other reasonable moving expenses such as cost of hiring professional moves or expenses related to traveling to their new home. Qualifying expenses include cost of boxes, tape, moving blanket, bubble wrap, and other packing necessities, rental fees for moving trucks or storage units, travel costs including plane fare, gas or mileage, and hotel cost, the cost of moving other family members in separate vehicle. Even for the tax year prior to 2018, you were only able to file Form 3903 if you meet certain requirements. First, your new job had to be at least 50 miles further than the distance between your previous home and your old job. So if your previous old job was 14 miles away from your former home, your new job had to be 64 miles away from your previous home. Members of the United States military, however, can claim their moving expenses regardless of the distance of the employment requirements if they are making a permanent change in their military station such as retirement or termination of service. Another requirement for non-military taxpayer filing for tax year prior to 2018, you had to move around the same line as you start your new job. The time test qualification requires filers to work at the new location for at least 39 weeks out of the 12 months following the move. If you didn't rack up 39 weeks at the new job before the filing deadline, you are still able to file Form 3903 if you expected to pass the time test in your first year of employment. Self-employed individuals are also able to file Form 3903, but their time test is more stringent. They were required to work at their new job for 39 weeks in the first year after the move and 79 weeks by the end of the second year. A qualifying time and distance test must be completed to determine if the cost of a move can be reduced or deducted. For the tax year prior to 2018, you were required to complete a qualifying time and distance test to determine if you were able to deduct the cost of a move. Presently, Form 3903 is only available to active members of the US military. There are no qualifying distance and time requirements for members of the armed forces who utilize the deduction. So guys, this is all about Form 3903 moving expenses. I believe you have understood. Goodbye.